Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm telling you all you need to know about the new Rihanna cover that everyone's talking about. Now, Rihanna has made history as the first black woman to ever be on the September issue of British Vogue in its 102-year history, and a lot of people will be wondering, no, there's no way. Now, what is really specific to listen to is September issue. So there have been black people who have been on the front cover of British Vogue, but just not for the September issue. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is the importance of the September issue? Now the September issue is kind of like, for every fashion magazine, is kind of like the most talked about issue and is the biggest time for fashion magazines. It's like us as humans, we think of the new year as like when we're going to set new year goals and everything. So as for fashion, because obviously there are two main seasons, the spring summer season and the fall winter autumn winter season. So the transition from spring summer to autumn winter or fall winter, depending on what you call it, is September time. So for magazines, that's like the main time, the most important time. So if you haven't noticed, most of the hype for fashion magazines is normally for the September issue. So it's a huge thing that Rihanna was on the September issue of British Vogue. Edward Enninful, who is the chief editor of Vogue, this is actually his first September issue, so I kind of knew he was gonna put Rihanna on the cover, to be honest, because Edward Enninful is like younger than most of the people that would be in the job. He's black, so it just seemed right. Like, I just had a feeling he was gonna put someone black on the cover, and yeah, I really like the work he's done. I think personally, magazines need to hire people who are younger and who relate to the celebrities and the people that are popular. I think what they've done in the past with these, I don't know, really old like women who are really posh, I just don't think it works. Like, especially in recent times where now it's all about social media, and like social media drives basically anything you're trying to do. I think you need younger people. It's kind of like with Louis Vuitton and Virgil Abloh now, that like they had a really good first collection with Virgil Abloh. Some might say it's because of his social media presence. Some might say it was actually good design, but whatever it is, Virgil Abloh gets numbers, and that's what the current climate is about. And me personally, if you haven't seen some of my past videos, I used to read Vogue, but I stopped reading it because it kind of like became a magazine where it was just adverts and the articles aren't really that important. That's why I started reading Dazed and ID magazine. But for the first time, this is the first time in a very, very long time I've heard a lot of people talking about a Vogue cover. Like, people don't normally talk about Vogue on a mainstream level like this, even people not really into fashion but just know who Rihanna is. Everyone's talking about this Vogue cover, and this will almost definitely be an instant sellout just based on the way everyone's talking about it. Like, Edward Enninful has done such a good job, because going back to what I was saying about the September issue, it's the most important issue yet. Last September, I can't even remember who was on the cover, to be honest. Like, that just shows you that they didn't really do that good of a job, to be honest. Like, next year I'm going to remember Rihanna's issue from this year. So Edward Enninful, once again, he's done a good job. The photography was by a photographer called Nick Knight. Now, if you don't know who Nick Knight is, he's like a legend. I think he owns Show Studio, and Show Studio is kind of like, they have a YouTube channel actually, so I'm not even going to talk about Show Studio too much. Just search Show Studio in the YouTube search bar and then just go watch their videos and you'll find out more about Nick Knight. But he is a legendary fashion photographer. He's very respected in the fashion industry, and him and Edward Enninful met a lot of years ago. They even have an interview that I've watched on YouTube talking about how they came up together, and they're really good friends, so it all makes sense, Now, with September being the main issue of the year for fashion magazines, a lot of work goes into it, and a good reference that I'll lead you guys to is this documentary by someone called RJ Cutler. And it's called, if I can remember correctly, I've watched it ages ago, but I think it's called the September issue. And the documentary is literally about 1 year, I think it was American Vogue, who he focused on. working on their September issue and like behind the scenes, just everything that they were doing for their September issue. So you can see like kind of the work that goes into making these magazines is crazy. Like it's a crazy amount of work. Don't be deceived by you just get this finished product and it's a book and you think, oh, they just made it within a month or whatever. No, it takes a year, sometimes even longer. Like people are planning a year ahead of another September issue. So it's crazy. The September issue, I'm just trying to like let you guys know the importance of the September issue. I've kind of seen that black faces, I don't know why this black thing in fashion, because to be honest, I have this discussion with my friends and I say that, like for example in the UK, black people make up 3% of the UK. So I understand that people always complain that black people aren't casted and stuff and this and that, but at the end of the day, we make up 3% of 100%. So you can't expect there to be like, in a show of 20 models, there should be 3 black people. It doesn't make sense. If we're talking about percentages, it makes sense why white people would be the majority in everything. Like, it only makes sense and logical. So I think this over push of black people, I think it kind of gets mouths moving and it gets people talking, which is a good thing. Like, the thing is, I have a balanced view on these fashion magazines because all the covers most of the time are just white models, which, like I've said, when 3% of, because we're talking about British Vogue now, 3% of the whole UK population is black, then you would expect most of the front covers to be white. But the problem with the fashion industry is the reasoning why there aren't black faces in the front cover. It's not because that's just what people see, it's more because they're actually racist. So yeah, it's crazy that, yeah, just black faces always start a big discussion. I think Anna Wintour, if I can remember correctly, in 1989, she put on the front cover Naomi Campbell, and that was a big talking point. And that was back then, that was 1989, that was when this world was a terrible place. Like America, how long was it from the civil rights movement? So they were still trying to get to grips with a September issue of American Vogue being a black face, which was just crazy to everyone. And it kind of did good numbers though, because it was controversial. When you can get people talking, that's the whole point of a fashion magazine. Like I've said before this year, I can't remember the last time I've really been excited to see a Vogue issue. And another thing about September issues is most of the time they're actually bigger than other issues because September issue is more important. So if you're ever gonna buy a Vogue, buy this one and buy the next September ones, because to be honest, British Vogue, from what I know, is not the best magazine in terms of fashion. Read ID and Dazed. Like if you want to read good articles about fashion, don't buy Vogue. But the September issue, yes, buy it. There's gonna be a lot of stuff in it. I'm personally gonna buy it. Hopefully it doesn't sell out, because it seemed like it's gonna sell out, so I wanna be able to get it. So another really big talking point about this magazine was Rihanna's eyebrows. Now, what people need to understand is it's a front cover for a Vogue magazine. They're not saying everyone should shave their eyebrows off and pencil it in. And I've seen a lot of people say her eyebrows are dead, her eyebrows are this, her eyebrows are that. To be honest, it's just an aesthetic. That's a lot of people that I think don't understand fashion and are still trying to understand it, don't understand that everything is see it as an art. So people are just trying to express themselves through art. So that look of Rihanna was just kind of like art. It's not telling people that, okay, Rihanna's doing her eyebrows like this, so everyone should do it. And to be honest, trends do change. Some years we think skinny jeans are stupid and why would anyone wear skinny jeans? And then a few years later, everyone's wearing skinny jeans, and if you don't wear skinny jeans, you're not cool. So trends change. I know in the 1920s, 30s and 40s, thin eyebrows was actually a thing. So I think older people probably look at us now with this new trend of like bushy eyebrows, and you see girls when they do makeup, they fill in their eyebrows as well. Older people see that as strange. So this whole thing of, oh Rihanna, your eyebrows are dead, it's like trends change. Like I can bet you when thin eyebrows come back into style, and some of you might be thinking, oh, there's no way, but this trend's just changed. So that's what I'm saying. So it's not that serious. Like, this whole bashing Rihanna about her eyebrows is just funny to me. Like, trends change. I don't know. Like, don't people actually go and like look at the reasons why her eyebrows were like that? It was just paying homage to like how people used to do their eyebrows back in the 1920s. That's all it was. Like, it's nothing to do with they're trying to make that the new trend. And then again, going back to the whole point of people like to make people talk. It's a magazine. The whole point of the magazine is to get people to talk. If British Vogue can get more people talking about the magazine before it's released, that can only mean more people are going to buy it, or more people, because some people will buy it because they want to read it. Some people will buy it because they'll be like, what's all this intrigue and what's all this talking about? So it works for the magazine. And stop bashing Rihanna's eyebrows. It's just an aesthetic. What's so funny about the eyebrows is, I'm so sure if a few more celebrities did the thin eyebrows, like shaved their eyebrows off and then drew some eyebrows on, that would become a big trend. Let's say Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Khloe Kardashian. Who else is big in social media? Let's say Naomi Campbell, some fashion guys like Kate Moss, Cara Delevingne, and Rihanna's already done it, and Beyonce. Let's say all of those people shaved their eyebrows off and then made them thin. That would become a trend. So, to be honest, don't bash different aesthetics that you don't necessarily like, because you're gonna look very stupid when that then becomes the trend, and now you're like, oh, I like thin eyebrows. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, but you were bashing that a week ago. So, I always tell people about this in fashion, and now I'm kind of going off topic, but when someone doesn't dress to the aesthetic that you're into, it doesn't make it trash or rubbish. It makes it different. And the whole point of this world is we are different individuals. So you should like different people dressing differently, or else we would all look like clones, like I always say. So you should like that people have different aesthetics. People like different looks. Some people like the eyebrows thin, some like it thick. Some people like to wear all black, like me. Some people like to wear bold colors. Some guys like to wear heels. Don't bash them and say they're gay or they're this or they're that or they're camp or they're whatever. They just like to express themselves differently to how you like to express yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that one is bad or one is good or one is better or one is worse. It just means that one is your own, one is more individual, and then another one is that person's own, and that's individual to them. But yeah, keeping this video short, that's basically the summary of the September issue as a whole when it comes to Vogue, British Vogue, American Vogue, how important September issues are, and why it's such a big deal that Rihanna made the September issue of British Vogue, also as the first black woman to be on the front cover of Vogue, of British Vogue. So, good work by Edward Enninful, good work by Nick Knight. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a like, comment down below what you think about the magazine, what do you think about Rihanna's eyebrows, and subscribe to this channel for more. It's called The Fashion Archive, and yes, I do talk about mainly fashion. So if you're interested in that, then consider subscribing. Also, if you subscribe, try to hit the notification bell, because, well, how else are you gonna know that I post the video? Now the new algorithm, unfortunately, I have to start talking about notification bells, because even if you subscribe to me, you might not see my video because it just goes down like on the search list. So add the notification button, click the notification button, and yeah, I'm out.